Well, it is every student's dream come true. School without the homework. A new trend that's shaking up our education system has seen more and more local primary schools ditching the traditional homework model.
Instead, young children are getting brownie points for spending time with their families, from shopping with mum to teaching dad something they've learnt. But despite recent studies showing the extra slog doesn't do kids much good, the majority of schools are still handing out homework.
Yeah, so should homework be banned in primary schools? Let's throw this dilemma over to today's panel. The acting principal of St Charles Primary School in Sydney, Hilary Cameron, media personality and mum of two, Sophie Faulkner, along with parenting author and positive psychology expert, Dr Justin Coulson. Good morning, team.
Good morning.
Hi. So this is straight from the horse's mouth. Your school no longer gives out homework to primary kids, is that correct?
Well, yes and no. Basically, a couple of years ago, we weren't happy with our homework that we were giving out, and we decided to do some research. And the research that we followed through on, Lilico, Hattie, people like that, indicated that really homework doesn't make much difference to student learning outcomes. So we've changed our homework. We still do homework, not traditional homework, and we actually deliver a homework grid.
Okay.
All right.
So, okay. But I don't know, so what do you mean you still do homework, but like what is the homework then? Is it?
Well, the homework that we have on our grid relates to activities that you do with your family. So things like something physical, the local park, it might be helping mum with the cooking, it might be shopping with dad, daily reading.
Does it still have literacy and numeracy as part of that homework?
Yes, it does.
Well, see, to me that's still homework.
Yes and no.
I'm sorry. No, we have a grid and it's still got, we still got to do the spelling words, you still have to,
We don't do spelling words, we don't do spelling words,
okay.
We don't do mentals, we don't do a lot of things. We do some academic work, but primarily we focus on life skills and children having time with their family.
If I help my wife with the washing up, I get brownie points, so I understand the system. Sophie, what do you think about getting rid of homework? What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think we should do it. I don't believe in bombarding kids with copious amounts of homework, and I believe under the age of year 3, home readers is ample. Probably year 3, probably half an hour a night is great. But teaches kids so many important core values, you know, self-discipline, responsibility, accountability, time management, work ethic, self-esteem.
They can learn those things when they're older.
No, they can't. Self-esteem, if they've got an issue at school, they can fix it at home. And one of the most important things is the bond between the school, the pupil and the teacher. And it shows your child that you're emotionally invested in their future and their education. You can help them with issues at home, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, see, when I'm yelling at my kids to do the homework, I don't think they feel that I'm emotionally invested so much. Justin, interested to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, there's, the real answer is it depends. For decades there's been research that has been highlighting problems with homework, especially for primary school kids, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, if the kids know the work, it's boring. If they don't know the work, it undermines their motivation, it undermines their learning, they hate school, their relationships with mum and dad get strained, and kids are missing out on life. They're missing out on the extracurricular stuff, they're missing out on doing the things that Hilary's talked about, like going to the park or going to the shops or spending time with friends or learning the piano or dancing or swimming. Really, with a few exceptions. The research tells us, and there are a few exceptions, but
Yes,
the research generally says homework for kids under about 14 is quite destructive for their academic outcomes and their motivation to learn.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I read a study today from Oxford University saying kids who do half an hour or more of homework, it actually helps them with their education, helps them in the future. And I think if the homework is boring, that's the school's problem. They need to fix that.
Sorry, Hilary, can I come in and just...
14.
Hilary, can I ask you what sort of feedback you've had from the parents?
Our feedback's been really fantastic. At least 80% of the parents are really, really keen with the homework grid idea, and they support it. And we've surveyed the parents a couple of times, and the feedback has been, go with it, we're on your side.
I think that sounds good. I think it's about balance, having a bit of that and maybe a little bit of literacy and numeracy as well.
How old are your kids now, Sophie?
8 and 4. So the 4-year-old does nothing except reading, but the 8-year-old does half an hour a
And
night.
my 5 kids, none of them have done homework until high school.
So how did they get away with that?
Well, I just sent a wonderful letter that you can Google and find online that explains why my kids won't do homework.
Gee, I wish we had more time to discuss this, because I think this is one of the single biggest, well, not one of the single, but it's a really big issue affecting every single family who has to sit down and struggle with this every single night. I'm going to go and read your letter.
Sounds great.
Okay, thank you so much, team. Really good discussion.
That's why I refuse to do homework on this program. It's just
I did my homework to be here, though.
14 though.
You did. It worked for our
Right.
didn't it?
We're running a poll on Facebook asking you, should young kids be given homework?
Yeah, head to our Facebook page to vote. Tell us what you think, because I know that you have lots of opinions out there. Thank you.